Welcome back to FastTalks channel. In this video we will read another article, how to write better performing React function components. Careful coding can save even more time. This article will introduce how to write better performance React functional components. It does not include common sense of web performance optimization, such as HTTP request optimization, cache optimization, browser optimization, etc. Before we start, let's talk about the performance of the React framework. There are many front-end frameworks out there, and React is not the most performant because it includes additional runtimes, optimized for algorithms, and more. In general, it's definitely not as performant as directly manipulating the DOM, but using it means having a strong React community, as there are many libraries that can double our efficiency, and it's easier to maintain and understandable to other programmers. It also usually means easier recruiting, but that doesn't stop you from becoming a better React user. Start coding today. So, first, React.memo. The React.memo used by the function component and the React pure component used by the class component are similar in effect, but React.memo is actually a high-order component. It supports the second parameter. When it's not passed, it will shallowly compare the changes of props before and after. If there is no change, the result of the last rendering can be directly reused. The shell comparison algorithm used in React is covered in detail in the following article. How to get a perfect deep equal in JavaScript. Achieve almost perfect deep equal based on React shell equal. When we pass the second parameter, we can get the two props before and after, and then make a custom comparison. For example, in the following component, I want to pass a center coordinate point to the map subcomponent, which is a 2-bit array representing longitude and latitude. Parent component map center equal object with arrow 1 1 map component const map equal props arrow function render using props. Export default React.memo map previous props next props arrow function previous props dot to string should be equal to next props dot to string. As in the above code, I use array.prototype to string to compare the value changes before and after. Of course, the real case might not be so simple. So do I have to apply it to all function components? The answer is negative. For example, if there is no state change in the parent component and the props passed to the child component are similar primitive value types, then using React.memo, the child component will add unnecessary computation. This is because in this case, the parent component is rendered and its child components using the same props must be re-rendered. React.useCallback can be passed an inline callback and a set of dependencies. Returns a minimized version of the callback if the dependency has not changed. Every time a function component is rendered, triggered by state changes, etc., if we do not use callback, a new function will be created. This also means that if you pass this function to another subcomponent, that subcomponent will re-render if the memo custom comparison is not used, as in the following example. Parent component const callback arrow function do something ab const minimized callback should equal React.useCallback arrow function do something ab arrow ab map cb equal callback map component const map equal props arrow function render using props. The minimized callback in the code above will only be recreated if a and b change, otherwise point to the same reference. This is different from callback, which is recreated every time the render is made. React.useMemo can be passed a create function and a set of dependencies. Returns the previously computed value of the memory if the dependency has not changed. This avoids expensive calculations on every render. The memo example mentioned at the beginning can cache coordinates in this way. Parent component const center React.useMemo arrow function ab map center equals center object map component const map equal props arrow function render using props export default map. Conclusion. In addition to this, there are a few scattered points that can help us, such as using React.fragment to avoid extra elements, using conditional rendering instead of returning using keys to identify changes in component elements, etc. In summary, the main ideas of optimizing the performance of React functional components are: reduce the amount of calculation for each render, which can be done through useMemo, Memo, etc. Reduce the number of re-renders, which can be done through useCallback, etc. Let React use the DOM as much as possible and try to modify the DOM instead of destroying and recreating. What do you think of this article, or what are the optimization points I missed? Please leave a comment. So, thanks for watching, bye.